What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is time for Truth Will Set You Free, episode number 73. Big night tonight. Virginia votes are coming in. Mainstream media has not called it yet. We'll talk about that in a second. That's probably what we're going to open with. 5 to 11-year-olds are now getting approved for V words. Joey Basements, Joey Poops, Joey Duke, whatever the hell. He has actually bought all 28 million children 5 to 11 doses for the United States. Good for him, because that's coming out of tax dollars, whatever. Colin Kaepernick, NFL slavery, is the 400. We're going to answer some questions about DJ Poopy Pants president, and is the $450,000 to immigrant families real, separated illegal immigrants. I want to talk about the father that killed the guy that sold his daughter into sex slavery. Sunni's whiteface, always going to be a good one. I don't know if anybody saw that on her social media. Maga rapper still number one, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, Brandon. Let's talk a little bit about the spending bill and maybe a little bit about Kyle. And that's what we got. So before we get started, please share this episode out there. Let's get it popping. Let's get it going. Share this episode. Hit the like button. I don't see enough likes out there. I see some comments coming in. What's going on? Pinky, Barbara, Jonathan, Nikki. Nikki's telling everybody where the podcast is. Thank you. Mr. Joseph Christopher Brown. And thank you, Nikki. All right. I love it. All right, guys. What are you seeing? I know Casey and Kevin right now are looking intently at the gubernatorial races in Virginia.
Yeah.
It used to be Virginia.
Huh? Used to be a virgin, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, boom! Come on, dad jokes for the win tonight.
That was good.
Oh,
good.
man.
What are you seeing? So Kevin's actually looking at NPR, and he's being able to break it down by pretty much every demographic.
Yep. So we're looking at right now, Glenn Youngkin is up by 10.5 points with 66% of the vote in, which is massive. As you would expect, the traditionally Democrat counties are going Democrat, but what we're seeing is and I'm probably going to get into this a little bit, but we're seeing is a massive, massive sign of encouragement for the midterm elections coming up in 22, because the Republicans are absolutely slaughtering the Democrats. Every single county, when you compare it with the 2020 election results, the Democrats have lost significant support, down up in the 15% range, there are some counties where it's a 40 point swing in the Republican direction. So this is absolutely looking like a massive sign of encouragement, and it's a sign of encouragement for someone like myself, who's very skeptical of both parties. The reasons people are swinging Republican has nothing to do with big party politics. It has actually to do with grassroots, important level stuff, like the schools, like our current inflation crisis, like what's going on to small businesses around the country, and the mask and all that kind of stuff that's going on. So it's looking fan-frickin-tastic today, y'all.
All right. So are we getting any news before we officially start the show? Are we seeing anything from New Jersey yet? I know that was another big one.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, no, New Jersey is bluer than blue. So
we didn't expect much, but are we seeing a shift? What are the percentages at right now?
It is. The Democrats have not gained. They have lost significant, but they're winning, but their wins are not by what they were. Is that what you're seeing too, Casey?
Yes, I'm seeing that. Yeah, they're not gaining ground. We're still. The numbers I'm looking at are still very little. We're under 20% reported, but it's not looking good right now. It's trending the wrong direction, but it is less than what it was in 2020, which is
on the upside. The last time Republicans have gained in New Jersey was actually Chris Christie's waistline. So.
Is that when he sat on the bridge and stopped traffic for 3 days?
All right, let's go ahead and get the show started, guys. That's right. Truth Will Set You Free, episode number 73. I didn't realize that rhyme. Truth Will Set You Free, episode 73. All right, some housekeeping. Then we're going to do intros. First off, ladies and gentlemen, I talked to Casey and we still haven't come up with an exact date, but we are going to have a uncensored show. See if Kevin falls out of his chair. Jesus. We're going to have an uncensored version, a 30-minute, maybe after show, starting directly on our page. If you are a Patreon, it will be free. If you are a viewer, it will be free for a couple weeks. We'll be starting that at the end of this month at one point. But if you'd like to support us at all, please do become a Patreon, patreon.com/BetheChange USA. Suni's actually got a lot of shirts up. We got to talk to Suni because she's been selling some t-shirts. So we gotta hook her up with her sales. But make sure you go to, Casey, did you add it to Awake Not Woke USA, or is it just Awake Not Woke store right now?
That's where I need to get into GoDaddy. So you and I need to work that out. And then Awake Not Woke store is our shop, but our link for our future platform will be Awake Not Woke USA.
So yeah, we keep simplifying it, but you can find it at any of the locations we had previous, or awakenotwokestore.com. Wake up for 20%. We've got a lot of Suni gear. We've got the Make America Think Again. We've got the Unvied colored sign. And of course, we have the Awake hats that you see, the Awake Not Woke hat. Casey, you're wearing a new shirt that we just dropped today. What is that one? And then we'll get started.
We're rocking the black flag. I will not surrender. And then it's got the same stuff on the back with Awake Not Woke with the black flag. So go out and get it. It's available as of today. We just released it earlier, just a few hours ago. So go catch it. All of our shirts are always just limited time, and then we'll pull them off.
Yes, sir. Last but not least, before I get to the upcoming events, we have, make sure if you want to listen to us later, go to our podcast, #BetheChange.com/podcast. That's a way to also listen to our stuff afterwards if you can't watch while you're driving. And coming up this weekend, we have got, actually right here, Changemakers. We have a special guest, Brenda Ringwood. She's going to be tomorrow night. We're talking about the event that I will be emceeing and hosting for her this weekend. The changeyourlife.com conference. A lot of speakers this weekend. It is a low digital price. I think it's under $100. Not sure exact prices right now, but I'll go ahead and put that in the chat box. And then last but not least, this is the big event in January. It is in person. If you can look at these speakers, I don't know why I'm still listed in the front, but we got Bedros, we got Nick Vujicic, Brad Lee, Officer Parker down at the bottom. This is with Barb and Dave from American Snippets. If you can actually look at these names, Bobby Sauce is going to be speaking there. It is huge, and the tickets are literally only $197. So it's thegreatamericansummit.com. All right, Suni, what's cracking? Tell us what's up in your life. Let's do some intros.
Bullshit and more bullshit.
Are you better? Are your kidney stones gone?
Yeah, I'm getting back on the mend.
Back on the mend. That's good.
I'm trying to wake up. As you can see, I've probably yawned like 4 times now because painkillers are a hell of a drug. I'm just saying. I'm trying to come to life, but it's really hard. But anyway, just BS. People are sensitive. They get mad because I wore a white face. They're mad because I'm calling out Colin Kaepernick. They're mad because I'm simply Suni. So what's new?
Suni, you're on TRICARE. You only get Midol and Tylenol. So I don't know what painkillers you're talking about.
Take a knee, take some Motrin, drink some water. You're good to freaking go, Suni.
When you go in there and you lay on the hospital floor and you scream, they'll give you some painkillers.
That's what it takes. All right.
Went in there and I was on the floor rolling around. Y'all gonna give me something, man. This shit hurts. And then
so how did you get the stones out? Did you have to?
Well, they gave me Flomax. Yeah, I had to use the bathroom, which is very painful, and the residual effects probably suck a little bit more than the stones, if I'm being honest. So I've just been like going to bed dumb early.
We need to answer one of the most important questions in human history right now, Suni.
What?
Which was worse?
Childbirth or kidney stones?
Yeah.
You know what? They give you drugs off top when you have kids, man. They like prep you before you even push the thing out. So, I would rather go with kidney stones.
Wait, how
Just
kidney
being
stones?
honest. Yes.
Well, it's
I
also
would
9
rather
months
go.
of holding a gigantic thing inside your stomach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damn it! I was really hoping you wouldn't say the obvious there, just so that we could have like a mild, like almost gotcha moment for everyone who thinks,
See?
rightfully that childbirth is more painful.
I don't feel like it's worth. Maybe look, one of my children, I actually felt childbirth, and I was like, "What is this?" I was scarred. I didn't want to have any more kids, and then I got pregnant with the last one, and I went into like a deep depression. I'm like, "You're gonna put me back in this room?" No!
So, Kevin, you just gave all men excuses for saying how they know kidney stones are worse than childbirth.
That's what I
know
was
what
trying to
you're
answer
doing
there.
here.
Yeah, I wanted to give us dudes something to stand on here. Like, look, passing a kidney
Look,
stone is way worse.
I will
No.
give it to you. It's definitely worse for men because the stones have a longer way to travel. So I feel
But
for
not
men.
for Kevin.
Trust me.
No, I mean they got like Tic Tac length there going.
Yo.
Sweet Jesus. Oh man. Speaking
Don't
of
tell
kidney
me on
stones,
my introduction, man. You just had to turn it dirty on my introduction.
also depends how big your stones are. Cynthia, bringing the heat. We're talking about kidney stones still. Got it. Noted. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Who changed his name to Tic Tac? I love it. All right, Kevin. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about that event that you were a part of.
Yo,
2,500
you're talking to Tic Tac tonight, y'all. What's up? Anyways, no. So yesterday we had or Monday. Sorry, I'm losing. Yeah, no, yesterday. Holy crap, I'm losing track of time right now. We had a massive protest here in Larimer County, standing against mandates and vacation passports that are on the horizon for us. Mandates already going into effect. Protesting against the Larimer County Health Board. And I'm telling you, it was wonderful. We had about 2,500 people show up to this. It was snow. It was the first snow of the morning yesterday. It got really crappy for a while there. There was, it was getting coming down pretty hard, only for about 30 minutes, but it was enough. It would have. You would have expected it to in a normal protest to discourage a lot of people, but people did not give a shit. Had to park like a mile away to walk there, and it was absolutely amazing. Wonderful speakers were going up there spreading messages of love and unity and standing with each other and making sure we're doing this the right way. We had just so much support, and it's one of those many signs of encouragement that you're seeing if you really have an optimistic outlook on where we're going as a nation in the face of what appears to be like horrible, brutal crap going on in our culture right now. But there are signs to be encouraged by. There are things that if you're paying attention and you notice, make you think, hey, there's a fighting chance for good in this one, and it's really getting a lot. It's looking a lot better lately, and yesterday's protest was just another reminder of that. Side note: had tons of people asking about the gear. Had some people say they had already knew about us and everything like that. So it was awesome to do my stand for the two things I love, which is freedom and capitalism. Hey, I'm here to support you. Buy my shit.
Speaking of capitalism, before we get to Casey real quick, so I did a live about this yesterday. So we are under warning right now on our Facebook page for the first time in all these years. Even with Cash on the show, we now are at risk of being demonetized, which is ironic because we just started making money like a month and a half ago off of ads. Just started based on a post that was sharing a quotation from the one of the guys on the FDA panel. So it said, just in, FDA panel votes 17-0 to endorse the COVID V word for kids 5 to 11 years old in the U.S. This was a news article from Disclosed TV. Disclosed TV said more. Dr. Rubin on the FDA panel, who's the main moderator, and this is a quote, in quotes, we're never going to learn about how safe the vaccine is until we start giving it. That's the way it goes, which I'll comment on when we get to this story later. That's all I shared with the words. This is what some are calling quote unquote science. We don't know how safe it is until we just try it out. Holy moly, I have seen it all. Hashtag you're the experiment. Hashtag our children are the experiment. Hashtag awake not woke. According to Facebook and IG, This post goes against our community standards on misinformation that could cause physical harm. How in God's name can this cause physical harm? So anyways, guys, we are at risk of, now that I'm finally making something little, we're at risk of being demonetized because Facebook is a bunch of assholes. Anyways, just want to let you guys know that. Casey, what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm officially banned on Facebook for 30 days, which is fantastic.
What'd you say?
I shared a picture
did he
of
say?
someone with the back of his jersey with his last name and a picture of Gruden. And people are offended because the last name says Fagot.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm done for 30 days.
Which literally translates to a bundle of sticks, but I digress.
Right? Like, I fought it. I tried to fight it. I see comments. I bet you those are for BetheChange stuff. Yeah, we can try to fight, but your hands are tied. You get all the way to the end when you try to fight these things, and you can go to this other committee, and then they never respond. And so it just it's useless. And so you need to have backup pages. You need to do all kinds of stuff, but it's just dumb.
Yeah.
But other than that, huge election day. Huge. It's showing off great things for what 2022 can bring us. If we all just focus and pay attention and vote for the people that we feel is right. And so that's the big part that I'm paying attention to right now.
Steph, you know where I'm at, Stephanie. Go ahead and send me those screenshots if you can. Thanks, brother. Thank you, Stephanie. She's Roller Girl that we met in DC. All right. Let's see. It does also mean cigarettes. That is accurate. Vance is going live. This is funny. It's hilarious that the left actually thinks that censorship isn't a real thing just because it's a quote unquote private company.
It's ironic too, because these are the same people that have, if you tell them that they need to take over a private company, they will have no problem with it. They don't care about private companies and their health status, that they give a crap, or guns or anything like that. So,
Virginia, we'll talk about Virginia a little bit. And for those that don't believe this is censorship, you can suck on Sunni's kidney stones. See, let's
t-shirt.
Yeah, suck on these kidney stones. Suni, let's start with Cap or douche. What do you say? Then we'll get into the Virginia vote and give exacts as it stands. We'll kind of update as we go and why it matters. But let's talk about Cap or douche, Soons.
Look, you got to call him Colin Kaepernick because he does a lot of capping when
Cap
it comes to
Cap-a-lot?
Yes, Kaepernick. I watched the documentary, and I think more people should watch it so you see how actually important it is, because most people are like, man, who cares about Colin Kaepernick? Well, a lot of people don't care about him, but a lot of people watch the documentary, and the first thing it starts out with is total propaganda.
Yeah.
Every inch of that documentary is propaganda, and I think it's important more so because my focus is the younger generation, and it talks about how the NFL is slavery, which is total bullshit because these men make millions. You make millions for sitting your ass on a bench. He talked about them getting poked and prodded on, and every aspect of their body is inspected. Same thing goes for the military. So I guess the military slavery. Let's talk about swimming, anything gymnastics related. So all these people outside of the NFL, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, that participate in very elite sports, I guess all of it is slavery.
No. It's only slavery because owners get around like cattle farmers and judge people based on their athletic metrics. It's like, you're an idiot.
And he put that scene, he literally put that scene in this documentary where it has an auction of black men being auctioned off in a slave trade. And I'm like, bro.
Do you know what's funny? I don't know if you know this, Suni. I don't know if we talked about it a long time ago, but for the when it was in Vegas, when the NFL did it get canceled? When it was supposed to be in Vegas, the NFL, what is it called? The draft. I think it was 2 years ago. I think it happened. The original idea, and finally people were like, that's probably not a good idea. They were going to have the draft pick go across the Bellagio fountain on a boat to then be received by their team owner, which is a predominantly white males.
God.
And I was like, okay, that is one of those ones you might want to.
That's crazy.
They should have done that. They should have done that. Just wiped everything out with the NFL. Just do it. Just
Well,
do
I
it.
think it would have been important, like, because there's another angle to this, which is where the NFL could have just been like, why the fuck do you this is literally an athlete being put on a boat in front of one of the most iconic hotels in all of Las Vegas to be celebrated for their immense athletic achievement that got them to this point, and you can't help but see slavery, you freaking racist. That's how you take your language back. That's how you take your culture back. And that's how you start putting, because like at the end of the day, there is no reason why you should associate an athlete in the NFL, because there's going to be white people on those boats too.
Exactly.
And chances are the first person was going to be a white person, because we're talking about quarterbacks.
Hey, look, he even brought that up. He related that to, he was like, look, when you make your my player, you want the my player created in your own image. And that's how these owners want people. They want their QBs in their own image. So that's why they pick all white people.
I don't think Jerry Jones wants a QB in his decrepit 80-year-old freaking image.
I was like, what? Huh?
That's such an ignorant statement. You're going to say all white people. How many black quarterbacks are there in the NFL right now?
There's
more than there ever has been in history.
True story.
But you also have to. Is it ignorant to say, though? Because what if what the owner values and wants out of their image, because we're not going to detract from billionaire owners and say that these are just lazy men who lucked into their money. These men are guaranteed to be incredibly hardworking, incredibly diligent. Yep. They are focused. Maybe them wanting players in their own image that fit in the football field is a good thing, Colin ignorant ass crapper douche. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who is unable to actually appreciate why men get to be billionaires. Sometimes it is inheritance, but most of the time, it's because they are incredibly hardworking, incredibly diligent, whether ethically, who knows, right? They're a little bit up there, but you cannot detract from the attributes that got them to where they're at that can be viewed as positives.
So can I ask a question? Can you imagine telling a slave in the 1850s, whatever, saying, just so you know, slavery is still going to continue in the year 2020 because there is going to be a black man that kneels for his slave owner and then fights it and then gets $50 million. The audacity of that country to still have slavery, to get $50 million in a settlement because he kneeled for his slave owner. What the fuck?
It's gonna go something like this. There's gonna still be slavery? Yeah, man. There's these people. They're gonna line up and they're gonna get judged. Oh, it's just like the Djangoism that goes on today. Yeah, exactly. And these men, based on how they perform, that'll determine how many millions they get paid. And what?
How many what?
Yeah.
How much what?
Wait a second. What?
Oh. So we can pay millions.
I thought you said they were slaves.
And wait, $0. We just get beat up and we have to stay in good shape and our bodies get.
That's it.
And we have as long as we make the league, we have insurance that'll actually take. I mean, we could have brain injuries, but it'll have some kind of insurance. Oh, but wait, college, because college we're working for free. Oh, that's not the case anymore either. Okay.
I mean, you had a bigger claim that college sports was slavery than you do professional sports.
100%.
Yes,
100%.
Absolutely.
Now,
no, but it was important because this is what they're pushing in culture. This is why most young black people are like, man, F America, F white people. And they don't know why. Look, Colin Kaepernick said it's slavery. He's in the NFL. Why would he lie? So it's important, especially if we're trying to. The only way that we're going to take anything back is if we infiltrate culture, because that's what has the nation's attention. This is the only way we'll do it. And Colin Kaepernick is full of cap. All right. This man is, it's this slavery, but I'm going to go try out, because I want to be back in the NFL because it's such slavery, which means Kanye was right. Slavery was a choice. Fight me.
Well, if that's his logic, then yeah, you're correct.
And Colin Kaepernick wants to be back in the NFL so bad. He scheduled a tryout with a team and then changed it an hour, like 30 minutes before his tryout was supposed to begin, and told the other team that was supposed to show up, drive an hour and a half to come see me. I gave you the wrong location. Okay.
And watching him was so terrible. I was like, all right, I still can throw a football about 40, 45 yards. And well, at that time I could still throw 50 yards. And I was like, he doesn't look much better than me, and I suck. Like
He
I could
sucks,
just
man.
he wasn't hitting the receiver in stride. He had a really fast receiver. But here's what I find funny now is he still is talking about how he's training to come back in the NFL. He's like,
Yes.
I still train 4 or 5 days a week, and I'm like, four or five out of 7. So you think you're going to get back to the NFL with a lack of talent 5 years ago by
Exactly.
training 4 or 5 days a week, and that's your barometer?
But do you know what he's
Like-
going to use? Affirmative action, which is why it needs to be completely abolished.
Which is why, but why? That's how he got $50 million. Is that it was collusion? Russia was
right.
doing something.
But you know what? Look, let's be honest. The only reason Colin Kaepernick is a household name is because the original quarterback got injured and he was the backup, and he came in and nobody knew his play style. He was able to exploit the fuck out of their defense, and
Sorry,
that's
Nathan.
it. Because the following season, they watched this dude and they're like, "Oh, we know how to shut you down," and he sucked ass.
Well, he got
ass.
he got the first half that first season, but he did that second season. He was still pretty good, not nearly as good. But by that third season,
he was trash.
He was trash.
by the tail end of the second season, yeah, he was playing terrible. But they still made it to the NFC Championship that year.
Look at his points. Go look at his
I
how he
watched him,
got his
dude.
yards and stuff. Hang on.
Yeah.
Go look at his stats. Most of his stats came as garbage points at the end of the game because they were either leading or they were losing.
Point being,
most of the things that came from was the people around him, and he never wanted to give any of them credit. He wanted it all for himself.
True, that is also very true. But like the thing that caused his fail was when they tried to turn him into a pocket passer when he was very good on the move. If you watch when he played well, it was when he was scrambling. What it comes down to is that he wasn't good enough and he doesn't deserve the money that he's claiming. And at the end of the day, he can't even point out, look, even if it is the case that the NFL is slavery, we have eliminated the racism involved in slavery. At least give credit to America where that you can't make the claim that we're racist.
But hold up, because I'm about to have my Kanye West moment. Okay, we're gonna give Colin up his props, but don't be forgetting about Cam Newton. All right. The greatest pocket, number one, he was the greatest QB to go on the move. Sorry, this dude is fast as shit. He's big as hell. People had a hard time knocking him down. He didn't get calls. Keep it a band, man.
He still
I will go get my
second to Michael Vick
right now.
but
no.
Mike Vick was the
still-
greatest.
I'm a
probably
Michael
the most
Vick.
athletic player
There's-
that
Look,
ever
Michael
played.
Vick
NFL
fought
history.
dogs. You know how white people feel about their dogs.
I know, and he's
Talking
a
about Michael
piece of
Vick.
shit for it. He's also done a lot since then. Vick
Remember,
has done a lot since then to fix that and to actually be an animal advocate, although he was a piece of shit at the time. But if you talk about his
lying
playing
like a
ability,
motherfucker, bro.
he
He
had
probably-
the worst. He had the worst receiving core in the history of the NFL and took them further than humanly possible. Michael Vick is the best athlete so far in the NFL in the 20th century.
He was right-handed and he threw left-handed specifically because he wanted to use his stronger arm to throw stiff arms and get people off him. That dude from his knees could throw the ball 90 freaking yards.
Well, if you're on your knees,
the greatest athlete in NFL history. He was running the rumor is, the legend has it, he ran a sub 4.2 40 at one point.
Which is funny. He said, he said from his knees, Casey, which therefore means so that you're gonna make it because I don't think Kaepernick can do much from his knees except for watch the national anthem.
Or try to get his job back.
But I have to make it. I gotta call out Suni because she said Cam Newton. Even though I'm pissed of the trade that just happened, my man Cam Newton's daddy is all Von Miller. Von Miller owned him in the Super Bowl and made him
Go Rams. Also, I want to say if you're going to continue to ignore the all-time great scrambler, Peyton fucking Manning, look at it.
Hold up. First of all, they got played out of that Super Bowl. You know they wanted to give old ass, what the hell's his name?
Peyton Manning, the greatest scrambling quarterback of all time.
They had to give him a perfect send-out before retirement. We know the NFL is all about politics, man. They threw that game. The one time Cam Newton doesn't go for a fumble? Are you kidding me? After a virtually undefeated season. Fuck them Broncos. I don't give a shit about that.
I agree with
Super
that.
Bowl 50.
Y'all
Super
cheated.
Bowl 50. All ours.
They didn't throw the game. He got knocked off his groove.
Bro, you clearly didn't watch that game. And you clearly didn't.
I'm surrounded by
You did
Broncos
not
fans. I
watch
was
the
forced to
Panthers
watch
play
that
all
game.
season.
This is why I say we need to have a
Point
sports
for
show.
Mustang.
Look,
All right, done with sports.
We need a sports show. All right, we need a sports show.
Yes, we do.
Either the algorithm doesn't like talking about sports, or something clipped because we started talking about sports and 30 people left. All right, so let's.
They want to hear about boring politics.
This is a political show. This is all gibberish to me. It's so funny. Rose, go ahead and get yourself an away cap. All right, let's go ahead and go back. All right, let's talk about. Let's go back to the Virginia vote, and apparently New Jersey's getting closer again. We're keeping this short. We're going to keep kind of noting it as we go. What we're seeing. Has anything been called officially in Virginia yet?
I think that it has been called some places, but I am double checking right now. So give me a moment on that. I'm checking another source.
Can you, while you're doing that, can you also the stats you were pulling up earlier about the counties that shifted? I would love that information because I think it's really interesting to show the areas that were heavy Biden, heavy Democrat leaning, and where the percentages have shifted.
Yeah, I can get that up right now.
And then Casey, can you see what's going on in New Jersey? I'm looking it up right now. It's
I just closed the tab on it.
It's definitely not called yet.
No, it won't be called. It was only 16% under 20%.
It's 75. Oh, New Jersey's hasn't been called. Sorry.
Yeah. No. So have they called Virginia yet? Tic Tac.
I'm double checking right now. I'm not going to say it's called, but if I would personally be willing to call it. So, let's see.
Okay, Fox News. So you're going to call it for George Bush instead of
So if we see here, we're at 74%. Youngkin's got it's dropped below 10%, but he's still sitting at 8.6%. But the thing is that Fairfax County has gotten most of their vote in. Of course, they're going to be wildly right. But the important thing and the indicator we need to be paying attention to is this right here. So up near the top here, you're not going to see much change because these are going to be your traditionally Republican counties, very heavy red. But the way it's broken down here, the red column is this year's vote right now, and then this column right here is the 2020 election. You're starting to see things that when you start getting a little bit lower here, you're starting to see some pretty significant shifts. So you have Hanover County went an additional 16 towards the Republican. Henry County went an additional 21, 20 right there. And then the big stuff starts coming when you're down here. You're seeing this kind of shift right here, Lancaster County going an additional 13 points. This stuff, 20 points in James City County, this stuff is absolutely incredible. You have Montgomery County went from Democrat +6 to Republican +21. You're seeing a 27-point shift there. And it is these are the kinds of races that are incredibly important to pay attention to looking into the midterm, because this is the first real identifier of what's going to be happening, where the grassroots level feelings are, because these are the grassroots elections. So this is going to be a really good indicator in 2020. Look at the Democratic side of things. So Loudoun County here, famous right now for what's going on with the Decepticon. 50 points. The Democrats lost over 50% of their margin in Loudoun County. Franklin City right here, you're seeing they lost 20 points almost.
What does that say with Loudoun?
They went from Democrat +25 in the 2020 presidential or in the 2020 election to Democrat +10.
Okay, I see it. That
is absolutely massive. This column right here is going to be today. So this column right here, let's see, you have Roanoke lost 25%. Roanoke is famous for being along the coast there. Newport News, Harrisonburg, Lexington, the Democrats are losing everywhere. There is no place where the Democrats actually gain support. Even in the ones that are going to traditionally go that way, they're still losing 10 points. They're still losing 23 points. They're 21 points.
What I find interesting as a typical job by, and I don't know, I think Youngkin for the Republicans did a phenomenal job campaigning. He found McCullough failing when he said in the debate that parents should not have a right, and this is the turning point in that election.
Yep.
Parents should not have the right to be involved in their child's education. McAuliffe made another huge mistake, and I wonder if Trump worked with this or Youngkin knew what to do. McAuliffe said Trump would be ending the Youngkin campaign. They'd be ending it together, and he kept saying he was a Trump Republican. He's a Trump. 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 And he kept saying it. And on the last night, Youngkin did a big Loudoun County party for people and talked about the importance of parents' ability to have a voice in their education. Trump was nowhere to be found. McAuliffe had pie on his face, and as a one last push, he looked like a liar on top of the fact that he's an old school politician and sucks. And Youngkin, although got support from Trump, never once used Trump. He did it based on his own values, his own grassroots campaign. And I think it shows the importance of being connected to Trump, but not using Trump in the 2022 elections. And it looks like, as of right now, he's looking like he might win. New Jersey governor race still up for. So what do you got?
It's been called. So not called, but multiple people. Business Insider has called it for McAuliffe.
You mean for Youngkin?
Yeah, for Youngkin. Sorry. Let's see. You have Dave Wasserman. He's very good at this kind of stuff. He called it for Youngkin, and that's a really good sign. Those are two of the really good indicators right there. Again, this calling it ends up being kind of a race to it. It's like when a free agent signs with a team. That's kind of the approach that goes to it, but it looks incredibly bad if you call it and it doesn't work out. Like it almost happened with Fox News on election night, right?
Right.
They got a lot of shit for calling a race early, so these things are considered pretty important.
Got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Marissa, will you pull up my screen? I don't have control, so will you pull up my screen real quick? And then
Oops,
New Jersey is surprising. That's not my screen. New Jersey is surprising. So prior, when they only had 16%. You had Murphy leading by a huge percentage, and they closed the gap. So we're now just within 1% in New Jersey, and with 30% in.
Okay.
So this is surprising. I didn't anticipate it to go this way. I thought it was going to be all Murphy and just a blowout. But the gap that has been closed, you come down here to the same numbers. Like you're starting to look at the margins. It's starting to show dominance in certain counties where Republicans are just showing their face. And so it's good. It's showing exactly what people need to be doing, getting engaged and voting and making sure they vote for the right person they feel is the best for the job. Not by your party, but the person for the job. These numbers are interesting, but we're still only 31% in. So you can't hang a whole lot on this yet.
Insane. No, I think it's very important to note, though, that just how close this election is right now.
Yeah, it shows that the country is waking up, which means you actually have a voice, ladies and gentlemen. Use your voice. All right, we'll keep checking as we go. Let's go ahead. Okay, so we talked about let's clarify some things. Let's talk truth. The $450,000 that people are talking about and yelling at the top of their lungs that illegal immigrants are going to get $450,000. That were separated during the Trump administration, yada, yada, yada. Is this a real thing or is this a proposed idea? What is it all about? Casey or Kevin, do you want to talk about this?
Kevin, go first and then I'll follow it up.
Yeah, so it was a proposal in a settlement that would be paid out to victims, air quotes there for those listening, of
the victims separation. That broke the law by crossing the border, right?
Yeah, okay. The victims that were breaking the law by trying to cross the border, when they got separated, this would be paid out to each individual family member. First and foremost, that implies that it was criminal to separate an adult from a child in that scenario. Once you understand the reason this is done, it is not an evil intent. It is not a malicious intent. And at the end of the day, they don't necessarily, if you are not a citizen, you do not get as many rights as an American. That is how it goes. If you are the rights of an American, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution is guaranteed fully only to citizens of the United States and our legal residents. If you are an illegal resident, you are not granted the same rights. One of them being, hey, you come to our border, we're not gonna physically harm you, but this is a settlement they're trying to make with these families, with these people, and it's it's an absolutely brain dead decision. It's a brain dead anything for them to do anything other than say, you're in our fucking country. Good enough. Sorry, Nancy. That's it. To me, it's Casey. I I'm a libertarian. I don't know how you feel about this crap.
No,
Tic Tac yields to the floor.
No, I agree. I agree. I just the big thing to add to that is I didn't realize it costs $450,000 for a vote, and that's what we're paying.
Democrats are bad at everything, dude. You can there's local elections where it costs if you're good, you can get $1 a vote based on your
bottle of water, which is no longer legal in Georgia. No. Really quick, to Melissa saying that she wishes she could hang out with us. Please remember, and this is not a shameless plug. The Great American Summit is in Irving. Our whole team, minus the Japanese cadet up in the upper right, will be there.
The most important person here.
Right. There's no flavor, but there is a little bit of salt and pepper. So again, if you want, go ahead, check this out. It is at it is greatamericansummit.com. The tickets are literally $197 to go to it. And I don't know if I can announce it yet, but rumor has it that Ian Smith is also confirmed. We have that speaker lineup is stupid. So anyways, I'm excited. So if you want to meet us in person and hang out, please buy some tickets to that event. Come out here, a great patriotic event. Okay, so a lot of people are saying this. Won't let you like anything anymore. Can somebody send screenshots to the page of what it's saying when you can't like it? Because you're now the 10th, 15th person that has said this.
You don't get anything. I had this the other day on your live. It's Facebook just messes up. I had to force close it and reopen it to be able to get it back again.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. So the $450,000 is a proposed idea, though. It's supposedly something said by Biden. It's not. Let's not get huffy puffy over things. Let's not get huffy puffy over things that aren't necessarily the truth. I mean, the chances of it are incredibly slim. We'll talk about it when we get there. If the House was 90% Democrat and the Senate was 80% Democrat, maybe something ridiculously stupid like this can get passed. But right now, it's a pipe dream for a couple progressive liberals. It's not a real thing. So now you guys know the truth, although it's funny to talk about because it's so ridiculous, but not true. It's
set you free.
Somebody is saying Citarelli is up in New Jersey. We'll look at that in a second. The other one we want to fact check is Poopy Pants, DJ Presidential Poopy Pants. So, Tic Tac, give the rundown that you saw because I want to share some truth to this shitty story.
So President Biden visited the Vatican, where he met with the Pope, and there was, when he first met the Pope, he was wearing a blue suit. Then there was a break, and then he was wearing a black suit. And they announced it went longer than expected because of unexpected. What was the exact term? I think medical necessities or something like that. They tried to say something other than he shat himself. So
well. Is there a chance that because here's the deal, nothing is confirmed. Suni finds this funny. Suni, what do you think happened?
He sharted.
I think I made him shit himself.
So there's
about Joe. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about Joe. I just care about his ridiculous policies that everybody should pay attention to. But look, the man's got dementia. What do you expect? He can't control his bowels. That's what happens when you get old. I'm pretty sure I might shart myself a few times, but this meme was actually circulating everywhere, which I thought was hilarious. So I put it on my social media. You know, when he tripped down the stairs, well, poop came down his leg.
Did you see the meme where it's got the Pope and then him next to each other and it says "Holy shit"? I think that's funny.
Wait, so tell me if this is true. When he was meeting the Pope, he said, "You're the most famous African American athlete I've ever met." Did he actually say that?
I've read that, but I have not seen the video.
I had
a video.
Joke. Did he actually say that?
It's got. You hope it's a joke, right? You gotta hope it's a joke at this point.
I shared a video on BetheChange earlier that was. I mean, it's probably going to get flagged as misinformation, but Biden fell asleep during the summit that he was at. It was definitely it was a wet fart. I mean, let's be very clear.
Yeah, seriously.
This is not a joke. Like, Trump saying some stupid shit can be a joke and maybe it looks foolish. the leader of our country is falling asleep, and it took 27 seconds for one of his aides to come pretend like he had something to ask him, which was actually him waking him up to say, "You need to wake up." And then he fake clapped, rubbed his eyes. Like, I don't know what it will take. And I said this. I fell asleep during a meeting my senior year football, and I got benched for the game. Like, it was a big, and all I did was that. This is the president of the United States at a convention that he is supposed to be spearheading because we're supposed to change the world because of climate, whatever the hell.
The point does need to be made. What age were you at? What age were you at when you realized you don't trust a fart when you're sick? I was
15.
About 23, 24. But you got to realize is like he had to have learned that lesson at some point in his life, and now he has regressed back. That is not a joke. That is a sign that he is declining. And let's hope to God that these elections this year are a sign of people being like, okay, so like like he's fallen asleep at the G20. Like this is the freaking G20 summit. It's at the freaking UN. So it matters not at all. And hopefully that's why he was falling asleep, because he was like, fuck this shit. Like this stuff doesn't matter anyways.
Did you hear Greta talk shit?
I would sleep at the G20 summit. I'm sorry.
I would too. Did you hear, I'm not the president. Did you hear Greta talk shit about the Build Back Better plan, even though I can't stand that 19-year-old? Did you hear what she said? She goes, I am sick of all these words, and they don't mean anything, like this and that and build back better. And she's just yelling at the thing, and they're like, oh, that was a straight shit on Biden. Like, pun intended. But like honestly, it's funny. Like even these world leaders are like, this shit's such garbage. But anyways, the truth behind this story is it is very, 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 very unproven. As funny as it may be.
Possible and
but possible. 100% possible.
Did you guys hear Australia talking about Biden, bro?
Dude, they're shitting on him. They've got a fucking Stasi police state, and they're shitting on Grandpa Joe over there.
When he was talking about the train station, if the computer says this.
So like, what is Biden is fucking saying?
Sorry, Nancy. Sorry, Nancy.
It's all Sky News, which is the Fox News of Australia.
Yeah.
But yes, it is hilarious. I love watching Sky News. And the other thing that I find very comical about this is, has anybody seen our vice president when she's been in the screen for every presidential viewing other than the last 30 to 60 days?
She just talked 9 minutes ago.
No, but she's usually there with Biden. Like she's standing in the background. Now Biden's
only when
doing
he's stateside.
He's not stateside. His ass out. That's why.
It's so weird.
He's not stateside right now, so that's the thing. He's been traveling, she's been traveling, so like
it doesn't matter. They're about to kick his ass out.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
She sucks. She's even worse.
Hold on, I just had a revelation.
What
is one of the symptoms of COVID? Sleepiness. Jen Psaki tested positive this last week. Never mind. That's a joke.
He's vacationing, though.
He's always sleeping.
He's double vacation, quadruple vacationed.
This is it was 4 p.m. It was past his bedtime. Let's be honest.
Joe Biden's on a constant vacation. He's in the greatest rest home he could ever be put in.
It's white, just like. Never mind.
Hey, look at because we're going to be talking about Virginia again soon, but 30 minutes ago, MSNBC says this, man. The same mainstream media that called the election for Biden with not even 51% of the vote in. Oh, it's too close to call. Where? That says 55% to 43. Where? What is wrong with these people, man?
And their numbers are even behind. If I recall correctly, there's other places reporting 60-something% are in.
Oh,
no,
this is a half hour ago.
This is 80% is in. At this point, I'm pretty sure people are calling the hell out of it because Fairfax County does not have enough votes left to change this election. So,
oh my goodness.
Because that's what they're banking on. Fairfax is 80% reported, but the gap is almost 200,000 votes. So it's like, yeah, you're not getting that.
We got Election Central called it almost an hour ago. Let's see. Politico. No. I don't know. I like that Biden actually had to separate himself. He actually, because he saw the writing on the wall and he's like, he pretty much said this has nothing to do with his approval ratings, essentially, because they know that if they tie the two together, he's even more screwed. All right, so let's go to MAGA rappers. Let's talk MAGA rappers real quick.
MAGA rappers.
Go ahead, Suni.
So MAGA rappers have once again taken the number one spot from Adele. Once again, this is us forcing ourselves into culture. I think the Let's Go brand. Now, I honestly think it's really stupid to say. I'm just gonna say it flat out. I find it very annoying. But music, I love music. The better version is Loza's version. I'm sorry, I don't know why he's at number 4 because he's got a bop. Keep it a stack. I think he's been going at like balls to the wall with this whole thing, flipping out. And I got to show him coming up. You guys tune in for that. But his version is the best version. I think more and more people should just be focused on why so many people are on board with this. Democrats are like, let's go Biden. I played it on Halloween when I was taking my kids trick-or-treating, and I saw all the spouses actually, low-key bobbing their head. I'm like, you want to sing the song. I know you voted for Biden, but fuck Biden. It's okay. He lost. In reality, allegedly. But let me pull it up because I actually have a screenshot. I think it's amazing. We all know Adele is considered an establishment artist, if we're being honest. And little old MAGA rappers have knocked her out of her spot.
And don't forget about Drake. And Drake just dropped a new album.
Yeah, but the album was wiggity, 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 whack.
Doesn't matter. He's still there. He's one of those top guys that you can name, and you'll be like, you got replaced.
There was
independent artists.
There was a period last week where it was 1 through 5 were variations of Let's Go Brandon. All the top 5
on Apple.
Yeah,
on Apple. Yeah. Well, hold on.
Billboard Loza's, I think, made it to 45 on Billboard, which is actually insanely impressive.
It's so small, but they're still number 1. They're still topping Adele. You can't see it, but Bryson took a screenshot. I took a screenshot of his screenshot, which is good. I'm glad this is still going. Oops. Looking at my inbox. Y'all are nosy.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, Rose has Let's Go Brandon for a ringtone. That's hilarious. I should do that on mine, too.
Suni, you playing Let's Go Brandon for Halloween. I wanted to create a sign, but I ran out of time trying to juggle family and everything. But I wanted to create, because I have one of the video doorbells, I wanted to put a sign, put it above the bowl where the candy was, and say you must say "Let's Go Brandon" before you take 2. And so I could get them all recorded and just have this whole compilation of kids saying "Let's Go Brandon" for Halloween.
That would have been really good.
It's
a good thought. Too bad you forgot or didn't make it happen. Yeah.
And if you take more than 2, there's a trip mine at the end of the sidewalk. So good luck.
No, you just shart your pants.
So there's a couple people saying that they like the Loza. I saw one from Bryson. Can anybody, everybody that's actually heard the songs, go ahead in the comment box and pick which one you like the most, Loza. Or Bryson. What's the Topher's?
Hey, you're missing another one.
Topher's is pretty good.
Where's Max?
Who?
Talk about Topher,
Tom
right?
McDonald. Where's Tom Max?
Oh fuck, man! Tom McDonald ain't a MAGA rapper. He's a Canadian rapper. Keep him across the water.
Oh my God! Just because across the water, like.
No,
we're all across the water from you.
There's 3 of them. There's 3 top ones. It's Loza, Bryson, and Topher.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Loza, because Loza's got a bop. You can't deny it. It's a bop. I don't like the extended version, but the original version is a bop. Cult followers are going to say that. Me and Bryson are very good friends. I like Loza's version better. I like that.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
You got a lot of lows.
See?
Loza.
I feel like putting it on right now.
Can't do it. All right.
Yeah, there's others that have been pulled.
Copyright us? Nah, he
will. It's not him. It's
an algorithm.
Yeah, it's other
really because I put all his songs on my shit and I ain't never got a copyright strike.
Monetized?
Yeah. PT News has had a bunch of Loza's music pulled.
Yeah,
because he played it.
Yeah, now that it's making money, the label will pull it. Whoever it's done by.
I heard that and I wanted to pluck my eardrums out.
Let's just put it this way: like when Tom McDonald finally gets his "Let's Go" brand, it's gonna be like when Eminem steps on the stage with a bunch of amateurs, right?
I want
That's what it's gonna be like.
I want which movie?
Disrespectful.
I want the Island Boys to do a version.
Oh, please, no. Okay.
Who's
Ugh.
the
He's
Island
like,
Boys?
what's this shit? So they say if gas station
Hello,
boner pills, if
Gonna get
gas station
Biden,
boner pills
son.
had a face, it's these two kids. I don't know what race they are, covered in tattoos, and they just
They're white.
go, "We're the Island Boys."
They're white, but they claim to not be, so they can drop,
I don't know
and
who
we're
they
Oh,
are.
it's so-
Oh, you're talking about the two kids? No, those are. I know who they are. Yeah,
I wasted a whole like 15 minutes of my life watching
they're
a
actually
couple of their
rappers,
videos.
and they are like trolling the fuck out of you guys.
Oh, they're
Just so you
hilarious. They're hilarious. I honestly, I watched their whole little Snapchat thing. I think they're funny as hell. They say they're Cuban. I don't know. They're making a shitload of money off it. That's all I know.
Yeah, they're not white.
They're white.
There's something. All right, so let's talk. Let's talk a little bit of V word stuff.
They're ambiguous.
CDC is recommending the Pfizer C19V for kids 5 to 11. Shots expected to roll out this week. This article says it all. So, like I said, the post that got pulled for me when I talked about the fact what that guy said, which was 100% exactly what he said, saying we just pretty much have to see what happens and test it out. Last week, the Food and Drug Administration authorized the vaccine for children. The CDC recommendation now clears the V for those ages. Presidential advisor Jeffrey Zients said Monday that the Biden admin ordered enough V words to cover 28 million American children in the age group. The administration's distribution will be running at full strength by November 8th. This is important to see. We know millions of parents are eager to get their children V'd with this decision. We have now recommended that these children receive a C19 vaccine V word. Tuesday release from Dr. Rochelle Walensky when she's literally staring at the screen, just reading it. And she says, as a mom, I encourage parents with questions to talk to their pediatrician, school nurse, or local pharmacist to learn more about the V and the importance to get it. This is where it's important. Let me scroll down a bit. In several small trials, the Pfizer, which makes the V, saw no serious side effects connected with the shots. Let's see. It's likely committee members acknowledge that some potentially dangerous side effects will become apparent once the shots are delivered to millions of children. Just as rare side effects not seen in clinical trials of adults turned up with widespread Vs. Did you hear that? They're admitting that these widespread side effects are happening. That was a huge line for them to admit in a mainstream article. And it says by Dr. Matthew Daly, we need to acknowledge the unknown. This is messed up. And last thing that I'll say, fully Ving 1 million children in the age group would prevent 57,000 cases of COVID, which doesn't mean anything, and about 200 hospitalizations. So it would prevent 200 hospitalizations per million children, which is ironic because literally the amount of deaths for those ages of children is under 500 since the beginning of the pandemic.
Well, the claim they're making is that children can spread it, which actually is not. There's no data that actually supports that conclusion.
And then it says it later in the article, children are dying. We can reduce hospitalization and death.
Oh,
Children are always dying. There's literally more children. The statistic is over double the amount of car accident deaths in that age group. Literally double in 1 year compared to the whole pandemic. And they're talking about that. See, the thing is, Kevin, they're actually not saying that this is about stopping the spread in this article. They are literally slamming it for actual safety for children, which is disgusting.
No, I'm saying like if you think that getting kids, V'd will prevent cases and hospitalizations, you are saying you think it will prevent the spread. Preventing cases means it's preventing the spread, but children don't spread it. But the other stuff is also crap too. Suni, would you give your children anything that had literally where they said, "Look, got to take a jump into the unknown with this one here"?
Look, I ain't scared of this damn vaccine. I wish you would. Try me. You ever watch the Kings of Comedy? You know what black folks say? Look, white folks say, "Oh man, I hope they don't do that." Well, black folks say, "I wish a motherfucker would try me."
Sorry, Nancy.
I don't care who you are. Yeah, I'm not sorry, Nancy. It's different when it comes to your kids. So I'm not
Yeah,
afraid.
sure.
You know what's going to happen? My kids are going to be right here at home, and we're going to have homeschool like we did all 2019.
So you would say
Go
no.
ahead.
She would
Yeah,
say-
who in their right? You know what? It was a
That's
lady
like-
on Twitter who was like so happy that her kid got vaccinated, and he ended up getting a myocarditis.
Yes, I
and
saw
she
that.
ended up
Who is this?
walking back her statements.
Who
Yeah.
was this?
It was
I
a story
forgot
that came
her
out on
name.
Twitter. It was
Yeah.
it's an anecdote, but it was about a mother. She was super excited about the V, like all about getting her kids with it, and then her child developed myocarditis, which required continual treatment, continual doctor's appointments, tons of expenses accrued through the just treating the myocarditis that does not get paid
Yep.
for the same way as as the C19 would, but it's insane. It's like you would say no. Hopefully, millions of every other mother would say no if they say, "Look, we want to give this to your child. We know you're driving personally is probably more dangerous for this kid, but we want you to also give them this cute little thing that might do damage that we don't fucking know." Like,
This
And-
is
and
how you will
trust
know
us.
if
Have faith in your
America-
God.
This is how you know where America is as a whole. I'm like straight up. If you have parents going out to vaccinate their kids, and it's over half the country, you're shit out of luck. Hunger Games, The Purge, and something else needs to happen. If you have over half the population of parents vaccinating their kids, you are going to see the state of America. I'm telling you right now. It was different when it came to us. People will go get a vaccine. Look, I need to work. I don't really care about this vaccine. I'm good. But when it comes to kids, we're going to see how this country responds. And I'm not hopeful. Just telling you right now.
This is a nurse, by the way. I don't know. I'll have to cross-reference this, but this is a nurse
Yeah.
friend of ours. So this is interesting. It's funny because if you know they're hoping people don't read the rest of this article because it does say that the Pfizer BioNTech C19V is clearly effective. I love that we have to use code words. Is clearly effective preventing more than 90% of infections. Again, this was a 2-month study, which is what we've seen. It was actually 95% effective in adults. So this is super weird because it was 95% effective for 2 months as well. Cool. And this is according, by the way, this is not a peer-reviewed study. This is a company-run study in approximately 2,500 children. It doesn't get more fucked up than this. I'm sorry. Questions remain about the effectiveness and safety of the shots because the relatively small number of children who have had them so far, which is fewer than 3,500 across 3 company-run studies. It's not clear how long this protection goes against C19 will last or whether or not booster shots will be needed. 3,500 again, if you do the math, if only 1 out of 3,500, they're talking about how bad these Vs are when you've got 10 people having issues out of 1 million. So 3,500 is not a safety test in any way, shape, or form. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. So stupid. Oh, God. Anyways, that's all I got. I can't. The fact that as we continue to be called conspiracy theorists, the fact that everything that we're doing and saying keeps getting proven friggin' true is mind-boggling, and it's disgusting that if we would have said, "I make you a bet," they're going to be I would have said, "I guarantee you that they're going to be finding a way to V this for 5 to 11-year-olds, and they're going to force it to have it in schools." It would have been considered misinformation. We would have been flagged, and here we are 5 months later, hearing the exact same thing. It's fucking ridiculous. Sorry, Nancy. All right.
What's the difference currently? What is the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth?
Nothing.
About 6 months.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Can we show the Australian ridiculous commercial?
Oh shit!
By the way, another point to make:
remember
have
you
you guys
talking
seen
about
any ads for the V's like from the actual pharmaceutical companies on TV?
Oh
No.
yeah.
They
No, I
keep-
see it. I see it from the hospitals, and those are the sickest
yeah.
ones of all.
But you see it from the government, you see it from the hospitals, but never Pfizer, never J&J, and never Moderna, because then they would have to, by law, list all known side effects.
Oh, interesting. That's true. That's a fun fact right there. I
Yep.
like that.
None of them are advertising them though, because
Suni, do you have that up?
Yeah, I'm ahead of the game.
Next. All right. This is the ad in Australia.
You're having a reaction. You're gonna be fine. Hold still.
Wait, what brand have you been?
I don't know.
What's in it?
Medicine.
Medicine? How long is it recent?
I don't know.
What are the stats from Europe?
You could die.
What does Joe Rogan say? Call Joe.
We don't question the science when our life depends on it. So why question it when millions of lives depend on it? Science has our backs. Get the backs.
That's literally the ultimate gaslight. The ultimate gaslight. Like, insane.
Can we talk about how long EpiPens have been in existence and how many lives they've actually saved? The comparison makes absolutely no sense.
Is that really just a parody? As a joke?
That's gotta be a parody. It's a satire coming from a leftist comedian.
I got it from Joe Rogan. He actually said it was an ad.
Wait,
and
let's
an
look
Australian friend sent it to me. So
let's look up the website. What did that say at the end? It had a website. Go ahead and pull it back up. Vax. We can put this.
2 C's vaccination.
What?
There's 2 C's vaccination. I'll pull it up.
Here, pull it up real quick.
I don't want to look like a dumbass after all.
Vaccination.
Ooh. Fairfax County is 100% in.
Is it over?
Virginia's called, man. Like we're looking at 85%. It's like an almost 7% gap. This election is over. Glenn Youngkin beat Terry McAuliffe. So it's over. It's absolutely over.
Hey, you know what? And you know what? The fire shouldn't stop. I hope you guys actually hold this guy accountable as your governor. Who gives a fuck if he's a Republican? Yeah. Because Republicans have been doing absolutely nothing for the past 7 months. Yeah. So you better keep watching this dude. I'm just saying, look, people can be happy and celebrate all you want, but it's not a W until you see these people are going to actually get in and do what you put them in there to do.
It's a two-level war right now, or battle that's going on. First and foremost, the important part is to stop the radical leftist movement. That is priority number one. And once you're able to stop that movement, then more focus will be turned inward, and there has to be tons. But first, you got to get your people going red before you can criticize red politicians. And that's the thing.
Whoa, I don't agree with that at all. We're looking at red politicians now.
What I mean by that is before you can criticize your congressman for being a bad Republican, it needs to be a Republican. I would prefer libertarian.
Let's correct this ad real quick. So popular podcaster Joe Rogan, 54, has called Australian dystopian police state over the ad, criticizing anti-Veers. Despite this, he left one thing out, but he realized he made the mistake, later corrected Instagram. Apparently this is not a real ad. It's from a satirical show. It's kind of their version of SNL.
It's a joke, but yeah.
It's still, still, what's interesting, although it's a joke, it's on a TV show where they're essentially
propagandizing.
They're doing what all of our shit does too. So again,
yeah. But the point I was making, Suni, is like if you have a historically red district, absolutely, your guy's been doing jack shit for years. But if you live in a blue district, say you live in New York City, or say you live in Los Angeles, the step one is to stop this incredibly radical leftist progressivism, which means turn that from a blue seat to a red seat, and then you get to hold a Republican accountable. But it's better to be able to hold a Republican accountable than to have to try to get rid of a Democrat. So step one is get rid of the Democrat that was previously in your seat. Which is what they're doing tonight, right? Now, make sure McAuliffe is doing the right thing while he's in office is what it comes down to. But and you're 100% correct on that. But this is a two-stage war, so it is important that we are replacing Democrats. I would prefer it if they were all going libertarian. In all honesty, let's get rid of both those parties.
Why do people not like Dan Crenshaw?
Because he is a rhino, man.
Why?
Because he supports bills that are fucking ridiculous. He
supports red flag
ridiculed the
laws.
January 6th. He has nothing good going on, bro. He's an establishment
He's
rhino. Is what he
a
is.
member of the World Economic Forum and the Davos group.
Exactly.
He supports red flag laws. He says, I support constitutional red flag laws. Well, you know what, Mr. Crenshaw?
Yep.
That doesn't exist. So either you're cheekily saying you don't support any, or you are stupid enough to think that there are any. And you're a Harvard grad, so I would really hope that you understand the stupidity of what you just said.
Fuck Harvard. I'm a
I know.
graduate of life. School of hard knocks.
So are you
I'm a
guys-
graduate of the streets.
Are we saying that Dan has taken his eye off the ball?
Yeah.
No, he has his eye on the
He
ball.
literally
It's
has
all his
no
money.
eye.
That was a Kevin joke from last week. All right. I've always
He has one eye on the people and one eye on the money. I'm telling you right now.
I have not. I'll be honest. I have not followed him enough. I've always liked him. The stuff that I've seen, I've liked. But progressively lately, people have been more and more against him. So that's a learning experience for me. I need to do. Okay, there you go. There's a lot of people telling me I need to look it up. Cool. Good to know. I always like learning. Let's see. So last thing for the race so far, and then we're gonna get to the father killing the guy who hunted down his daughter. His daughter, not the guy who sold his daughter.
You guys aren't gonna like my take on this. Just
and
telling
then
you now.
Sunni's whiteface. Let's see. So first off, what do we got in New Jersey right now? Have we heard anything about the anti-police bill that I don't think will ever pass in Minnesota?
Oh, since we're talking about that, did you guys hear of what happened in St. Louis, Missouri?
Oh yeah, the gunshots during her.
Do you know I got flagged for hate speech for putting that up? Because I said repeal the 19th. Like, this is why? Because this goofy broad, there's gunshots going off in the bathroom. Boom, boom. And they're like, how do you feel? And she's like, well, what were the police doing before? Well, were they helping before? Well, probably not, because people commit crimes. It has nothing to do with police officers. Yes, police officers need training, but she literally is a total asshat, and she needs to be removed, repeal the 19th. I got flagged for hate speech, so I won't play it on here.
I mean,
see, no disagreement because I'm right.
She's
it's
one of
the
the
16.
worst
It's our version of the 1619 project. Repeal both.
She's horrific. She was the one that went off on. God, she was terrible. What did she do on CNN a couple months ago? God,
I didn't even know she was on CNN. That's how much
no.
she's a
Well, they did
non-factor.
interviews on the house. She's just horrible.
Wow.
All right. So what are we seeing? What are we seeing for Jersey, and what are we seeing?
They're split right now in New Jersey. So
It's
right now
insanely
it's
close.
50-50, but 41% is in.
Which
good.
As we know, anything close there is technically a win for the future. It'd be great to see it change. I think New Jersey is a state. I personally love New Jersey. I think it deserves somebody that's going to actually change that friggin' thing.
And what's his face? I can never say his last name. Citarelli.
Citarelli. Say Citarelli. Forget about. Hey, what's going on? Citarelli for governor.
Yeah, he's leading, but you can't say anything right now because it's too freaking close. It's within 1%.
And McAuliffe's closed the gap a teensy bit, but again, in my opinion, based on the counties that are in, the percentage of the votes that are left.
3 a.m. when there's a dump. It's all right.
But
I'm still not seeing it being called by any major station.
Yeah, no, none of the leftist stations are. It's mainly you're going to have to be looking at Twitter right now to be seeing who's actually calling it, because it's going to be based on individual analysts, right? Like Dave Wasserman and stuff like that. Individual analysts will be calling it long before actual establishment will be calling it, especially after the 2020 elections. A lot of them are going to be very hesitant to call stuff, and a lot of them really don't want to admit it. In places like MSNBC and CNN, they don't want to call it before the ballot truck makes it to the station.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Called it.
Let's and then if while we're talking about this next one, if we see anything on the thing in Minnesota regarding police, that bill, that'd be good to know. I doubt that has a chance at passing, to be honest. All right, so let's talk. Police say father hunted down and brutally killed man who allegedly sold his daughter into sex slavery. Social media users are calling him a hero. This is in Spokane, Washington. Commentators are saying he's a hero in response that he allegedly rescued his daughter from sex traffickers and later killed the man he believed responsible for selling his daughter into slavery. I'm trying to get the age of her. That is my question. This is October of 2020. Apparently, this is also going against COVID protocols as well. Just kidding. Let's see. I'm still trying to get her age because I heard she was underage, but I'm not seeing it in this article because I think that does make a difference a little bit. Is this man a hero? Is the man that killed the person that abducted his daughter a hero? Let's not start with Suni because I feel like she's going to have a hot take on this one. Kevin, go ahead.
Well, when I saw the movie, I thought he was a hero.
And Taken, agreed.
Yeah,
right?
like, so. I mean, morally, logical consistency when the father gets back at the man that sells his daughter into slavery, sex slavery, like, go dad. Like, you know, who knows? He might have had a particular set of skills. But any movie that has that as the premise, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, that is what's called justice, cosmic justice. And remember that God calls on you to defend your family. Like, he doesn't.
So he's 19. The guys that got killed is 19.
Old enough to be tried as an adult because he's an adult and made an adult decision to sell another human being into a life
supposedly
of
shoved
misery.
his trunk. Apparently, he shoved his daughter in the never mind. The father confronted abducted the victim, tied him up, placed him in the trunk of a vehicle, assaulted the victim by hitting him in the head with a cinder block, and then stabbed him repeatedly, causing his death. I don't know. Suni,
hitting him in the head with a cinder block?
There's something a little bit much on this one. I don't know.
I mean, was your daughter sold into sex slavery?
I don't have a daughter, thankfully. I don't have enough guns and ammo to
do we know?
I mean, if it happened, if she was, then it's justified. If she wasn't, then it wasn't. And it's crazy. That's what it comes down to.
They said that he got the daughter out prior and then went and hunted the guy down. Suni, what's your hot take on this?
I don't agree with that. Murder is murder. Who cares? I would be going to jail if I went after somebody that harmed my kid. So why should this guy get off? He took a life. And this is all alleged. There is no concrete proof of nothing. And you kidnap somebody, hit him with a cinder block, and stab him multiple times. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree when it's gang related. I don't agree when it's two people beefing. I don't agree here. I would be wrong if I killed somebody for doing something to my kid. This dude's wrong. Oh, he's a hero. No.
I mean,
sorry.
This is why God calls on the men to be the protectors.
Even a smart man with emotional control wouldn't go do that.
I would kill him. I would if somebody did that to my daughter, I would put a bullet in their head. Yeah, like that's
then
what
you're
it
going
comes
to
down
be taken from your kid. Then what?
It depends on what a jury of his peers think.
You're going to jail because it's murder.
Again, a jury of his peers have to declare that. Right. And if your community if 12 people sit in a room and say, yeah, we think he was justified, and they say not guilty, does that make him?
Not going to happen.
It's happened before. It has happened. Absolutely, it has happened before. There was a man in Texas who caught a dude raping his daughter, got his daughter out of the situation, went back in and brutally murdered the guy. Jury of his peers found him innocent.
Doesn't mean I gotta agree with it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Here's the one thing that changes: if he was still posing a threat to his daughter. Exactly. I think if there is and I agree, it is a tough one because I see what people would be like. He did what he had to do with his family. If this guy was coming back to try to take his daughter back, he was posing a threat. The police weren't doing their job, which it's Washington, probably not. I think that's the only way this is justified. If not, he might have done I think he did do the right thing in his own heart, whatever it is, but he is guilty of murder.
So if it's a young 19-year-old boy selling a girl into sex slavery, chances are he works for an organization that participates in this. Chances are you get caught and the father doesn't kill him. What he's going to get arrested for is not going to put him in jail for very long, and he's going to be back out on the streets, most likely doing this to someone else. Now, if this kid, depending on the relationship, there's circumstances that change it. Because if you're talking about a kid who's doing this for the Russian mob, which is what a lot of them do it for, or the cartels, which is what a lot of them do it for, him not killing this person puts many other women at risk. Maybe he caught this kid this time. Who knows how many women? It's not saying that this is the case, but if it is the case that this is someone who does this as their job, who knows if he's already done this to 3, 4, 5 other women. At the end of the day, when you're talking human trafficking, you protect your community, because if this person it's not just he kidnapped her to rape her. It's not a single thing. Human trafficking means you have to know the seller, you have to know you have to know where to look, you have to know a buyer who wants a specific woman, you have to be involved with the trade itself to know to do these kinds of things, which means that it is not just her that is at risk. There are many other women that are going to be at risk. And kidnapping unlawful imprisonment is a much shorter prison sentence than anything else he would have gotten once the man freed the daughter, and would have allowed him to much sooner be out on the streets doing it again, because there is a lot of money in this trade.
That's all speculation.
That is all speculation. But if it is that case, then would you say that the father is in the wrong for what he did?
Yes, because murder is murder. I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go to jail for murder if I take a life. And you know who I have to answer to at the end of the day? It's
God.
not a peer of my jury. It's God.
Yeah. And what if God looks at you and said, you know what, you did the right thing. I wish your community wouldn't have sentenced you.
That's a tough one. Now, here's my one thought, because now I don't see anything about her being underage. So say they were both 19 years old. This is the only thing that again, this is all alleged that he sold her into sex slavery.
Yeah.
What if they were both just druggies and she got caught up in the wrong crowd?
In that case, he's wrong.
Yeah, it's not a syndicate of any kind or anything like that. If that's the case, and he just freaked out because this could be I'm just saying this is possible. Yeah. Dad goes, "You got my daughter hooked on drugs. She ended up becoming a prostitute. You're gonna die." That's
different. That's very different. Yeah, that's wrong in that case.
But this is semantics at this point, and I agree with Kevin. If his situation is right, I agree with Suni.
Yeah.
If anything else is the story. And we just don't know enough. I can't call him a hero. I can't if he did kill somebody that's involved in a massive sex slavery ring that's tied to cartels and tied to whatever the hell in
that's what all of them
Washington.
Spokane,
Washington.
Yeah, they go to places with low crime rates where women will go outside unprotected, like I'm having to talk to a friend of mine about, because Fort Collins here has had a couple cases of that. They specifically target low crime areas where women will feel safe enough to go out. And then they have young, unassuming men come and grab them, or they.
No, I know how it works. Yeah. I know people that they almost got trafficked in Michigan. I know people that almost got. I know how it works. And this is not what I said, Trinity. I didn't say he drugged her. I said he got her into drugs. This isn't. He's an asshole for getting her drugs. If that's the case. Also, the dad probably shitting. There's probably some issues with the dad that his daughter got. The thing is, this happens. It's life. There could be bad parents. We do not know any of this story to deem him a hero, because right now,
and that's where the trial will come into account.
Right.
Because if the situation is laid out the way Suni laid it out, then yes, he will go to jail for murder and he will deserve it. If the situation is what I laid out, if I was on his jury, would vote him innocent, and I would never stand down from that. I personally wouldn't, because I would say, you know what, not only did he do what any father would do in this situation and kill the attack perpetrator, but he potentially saved many lives along the way and got revenge for other lives that were stolen.
I'm gonna say, Elizabeth, based on my gun training and everything I've learned in life, if you don't kill, you're probably gonna be killed. So if he's
but that wasn't the case in this situation.
I know.
Not this dude.
Well, right. I'm gonna say, once you start, you might as well finish it. Like, if the dude is actually in these. Probably not.
Let me address the comments.
Go ahead and hold on. Let me clarify, Suni. Go ahead and just be nice to him. Buy him some tea and crumpets. Go ahead and take him out for a beer and discuss his issues. Okay, that's for Facebook. Go ahead, Suni. Go ahead.
When it comes to women, all right, people get real sensitive. I've been through this stuff. I've never been sex trafficked, but when you get raped, rape is rape. No matter if it happens one time, multiple times, it's a traumatic event. Mm-hmm. It never leaves you. So me saying what I'm saying is literally being consistent to who I am. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in taking somebody's life. And if I were to do the same thing, I would expect to be charged. And if I did get off, it was by the Lord's grace, or maybe not even that. Maybe a jury just decided, well, we feel you did this justified. At the end of the day, I have to answer to one person and one person only. Period. Yeah. I don't agree with what this guy did. First of all, you got your daughter out. Two, this guy might have been weak as hell and he could have flipped. But because you offed him, now you have no clue who the big fish is. This is what I mean by people thinking in emotions and not being logical.
Well, the logic is if you can take one life and prove that it will save 5 more lives, are you wrong for not taking that one life? It's the trolley problem. It is an actual provable logical conundrum. That's the case that I'm making is if the trolley is the case that hitting the lever, killing the bad guy saves 5 innocent women, yes, I pull the lever. If the trolley situation is that I take his life and the decision was I take his life or no one's, I'm not pulling that lever, right? So it is a trolley problem. It is if it is the case that him taking this guy's life saved innocent women's lives, I cannot hold him morally responsible for deciding.
Let's be honest.
We don't know. We don't know, because if he does this for a living, it very well could have.
What if did anybody see the movie Traffic? I think it was like 20 years ago. Michael Douglas, his rich politician, his daughter was partying with high-end drugs with some other shitty rich kid. And it ends up that she ends up getting so strung out that she's like dating the kid. And then next thing you know, she's getting banged in the middle of a city high on drugs and completely into essentially her own doing sex slavery. The father didn't kill that kid. He roughed him up. He got him to a place where he's like, where the hell is my daughter, etc. This could be the case in this one, which is the daughter just made some bad decisions. Could be. We don't know enough to place our even opinion.
We don't.
And that's why I am using hypotheticals to describe the situation that would have to occur for me to think what he did was right.
Right.
If anything other than what I said, and I would personally believe it to be murder. But I also think that if we want to talk about God in this situation, the question becomes, God will be able to look at me and said, son, you knew this guy was going to be able to hurt other women. I gave you the directive to protect men and women. No, God gives me the directive to protect men and women, or to protect women and children, right? So at the end of the day, that is my duty as a man of God, is to lay my life on the it's to lay my life down when necessary, but also to protect women and children. And if my act allows for more women to get harmed by this single man because I thought, hey, yeah, it's better to just let him go, not take the life. No, that God could very well, because we don't know, it could very well be the case. Son, I told you were supposed to protect these women.
Let me try to end this conversation. So there's a chance that if this guy would have been caught, he could have flipped. And if there really is a sex ring and sex trafficking in this situation, he could have flipped on people. Also,
someone that low has nothing.
Hold on. So here's the deal. If indeed the father decided to do something that is understandable, if this kid really did something horrible to his daughter, which is still alive, might I add, and I understand it, he also needs to know the ramifications of his actions could be guilty of murder. That's it. But you know what?
Yes.
That's the line. Like, if somebody did that to my kid, I'd go to jail. Guess what? It's not if somebody did that to my kid, I would hurt that person and I hope that I don't get busted for it. That's not the way the saying goes. You make a sacrifice for your child, and in the end there is ramifications and punishments that could be murder in this case. That's it. So
we all can agree that we're just all talking hypotheticals.
100%, yes.
Right. So it's not going to go anywhere until we can actually really have more detail.
See, that's perfect. You understand that in the end, you know what? You're going to wear that prison suit with pride. And I guarantee you, if he ends up going to jail, and this is true, that he busted up a ring or whatever the hell he did, I'm sure because the one thing in prison, they don't like, rapists aren't treated well, especially pedophiles, rapists, they're not treated well. So let's be clear. It sucks if whatever. That's it. It's a tough topic. Agreed. All right, let's have a little fun. Then we'll go back to the vote to wrap the show. Suni, do you have a picture of your white face?
I do.
Can you pull it up for the crowd and give the motivation behind whiteface?
Well, first
So-
I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna be Karen, just because I wanted to have fun. And then I went on IG and I saw the response, and I was like, I'm gonna go on Facebook and we'll turn this into a social experiment because I found more white conservatives whining
Mhm.
than I expected. I was like, so you're mad that I put Noxzema on my face, and I literally imitated what these people do? What? Okay, well, it's racist. I'm like, how is it racist? Well, you get mad when people do blackface. I'm like, honestly, I don't really give a fuck. I don't care.
Sorry, Nancy.
Do blackface. And it's not like, what is that going to do to me? So this was it. It was fun. I really don't care about all the people who were mad. I laughed at you guys, just so you know, if you're watching.
How could people be? I mean, did you go into a store and
I went to the mall. Yes.
how did you act? Did you start a fight with the manager?
Well, I had a Karen moment on the way there because the old man crossed the street and like not even at the crosswalk, and I was like, he didn't cross the street at the crosswalk. I'm calling 911. This is ridiculous. There was another where traffic was just like, annoying, and I got a little annoyed about traffic. I wanted to speak to the manager at Panda Express because they didn't have what I wanted, and I was like, where's your manager? Why don't you have this fixed for me? It was fun. It was literally fun, but people got in their feels.
Did you call the police on any black men in Japan?
No, unfortunately, I'm gonna go back to Karen. There were no black criminals.
Oh, got it.
Breaking news, this just in. Japan's voting to get rid of Sunni out of Japan.
Yeah, but people were upset. They were like, I don't find this funny. And I said, good thing I didn't ask you what you thought. And they were just like, you just want attention. And I was like, do I? Or am I proving my point that conservatives are just as bad as liberals, man? Just as bad, man.
Sunni, I'm picturing that you need to get yourself a shirt designed that is the honey badger with your face on it and says Sunni doesn't give a fuck.
With this face, exactly. Yes, it'd be amazing.
That'd be pretty fun.
No, it was fun. All right. I did have a Karen bun. I made a white girl bun because I got the hair for it. All black girls don't have short, nappy hair. Contrary to belief.
Oh, man.
They all got quiet. I like making you guys uncomfortable. It's funny.
I thought you had a weave. It's
What do you respond with? Like, what do we say? I say, I got nappy hair? Is that how I should respond?
My shit was pretty nasty.
His head's blending in with the wall. I don't even know what my head
Why do you think I wear a hat?
Sunni, you didn't even make a comment on your post. What's the difference between the raising a white kid or a black kid? Or you said whatever, how would you raise a black kid? Whatever I said, all I said was just like a white kid, but with silk pillowcase, and you did not reply to that comment.
Because I didn't get that. That was like a crazy stereotype that, but I don't like silk. I don't know where that black stereotype came from, but yeah.
This Is Us said that black kids have
That is a fucking TV show that perpetuates false stereotypes.
He has the understanding of black culture of like a white suburban middle-aged woman, dude.
Created by a white person.
So let's have some truth right here. So black people don't,
because it will set you free.
The truth will set you free. So black people do not all use silk pillowcases. Is this a truth?
I mean, ghetto black folks probably do because they think that's like uppity. But I like Egyptian cloth. I like a thread
Egyptian cotton.
Yeah, listen. There is no silk in my room. I have a white down blanket and gray Egyptian cotton. But no, there's never been any silk.
Hey guys. Do you know the people that talk shit about Sunni might be right? She might be white. She might be. She didn't hear. Okay.
She needs to watch more Friday.
Hey.
Look,
this is what I thought. That's what I was told.
So I got Negro hair. Okay? And I've never worn anything silk. What? Bruh, You know what you put in your hair when you black? All you gotta do is get you a bottle of Blue Magic, grease your scalp, and you're good to go. I have never slept on silk, and my hair is never dry.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Truth will
Look,
set you free.
I don't know, because like I'm Italian and my shit gets greasy. I don't know about
yeah,
you,
I
Russo.
literally can.
Yeah.
I can just go like this and use it to cook with, and just. Anyway.
Ew. Oh my god.
By the way, if anybody doesn't know,
Dago is shit over here, man.
Once Kelly gets a better internet connection, which should be coming the next month or two, and they get fiber there, we are going to be doing a cooking show with Anthony and Kelly. By the way, just so you guys know, where
oh
I
my
talk,
god, that is
where
so
I
white.
What are you cooking?
I cook
Cucumbers
everything.
and,
I'm actually I'm a
mayonnaise.
steak.
It's all steak, Suni. It will be nothing but steak.
It's Italian fish. I cook everything. So anyway,
Fish.
anything.
Italian is the best cuisine on planet
I'll
fucking
cook,
Earth.
I'm gonna do a Juicy Lucy cheeseburger one night and call it the Suni for lactose intolerant fools. All right, so let's get an update on the Virginia.
Oh,
He froze.
Speaking
Hi,
of
Russo.
internet, I think he was going with Virginia. So you want to pick that up, Kevin?
Yeah,
Or
so
do you want me to go-
we're sitting at still a 4% gap between Youngkin and McAuliffe, but like 10% of the vote left. This is over. And McAuliffe just gave a speech. He's not giving it up yet, apparently.
Oh my gosh, bro.
It's like, so that's what makes me like extra worried. I'm not saying there's gonna be suspicious nonsense in the middle of the night.
Don't be suspicious. Don't.
But it is very weird because this is normally a race like any other year. This would have been called like MSNBC would have been like shit. Like this is over. But
I honestly think Trump created a new trend. You're going to start seeing no one wanting to concede anymore.
well, yeah, it's not necessarily Trump per se. It's like it was that entire election night was terrible. But tell us what's going on over in New Jersey, there, bud.
Him refusing, I think, is what's setting the standard, and everybody else is wanting to do that. On New Jersey, we're at 56% in, 56. Let me be clear there. 56% in, and Jack, I'm going to say his first name because I'm going to butcher his last name every freaking time, even though I can learn it. He's up by 3%, 51 to 48.
Who?
Chitterelli. It's Chitterelli, by the way.
Yeah,
Chitterelli.
Chitterelli.
Got Chitterelli.
When an Italian name starts with a single C, it's a ch.
By the way,
depends what region in Italy.
If you're from New Jersey, it's Chitterelli.
Chitterelli. Forget about it.
From Jersey.
I came across this video that someone sent me. They're yelling, "Let's go, Brandon!" in Virginia right now at what's his face's event.
Non-concession speech. God.
So it's crazy. It's a good night.
I'm just getting blown away because I'm looking at the same thing, Casey. You have the same option there, the 2020 presidential margin. Like the Republicans are picking up fucking everywhere, except like there's a couple in New Jersey where the Republicans don't seem to have picked up as much, but like for the most part, the Republicans have picked up massively in a lot of places over there.
The only one I see is one that has 0% reported so far. So other than that, they look to be Republicans are gaining. Oh, wait, no. There's another one, but it's 2% in. So it's hard to say.
So like this belt, so I'll share my screen again because it's specifically this belt of things right in the middle.
You're referring just to the counties that switched dramatically. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Sharing it?
Oh no, wrong one. I'm sharing the wrong one.
The gap did close. It is 51.7% to 47%.
Yeah, but like, so it's
just the flop. You're seeing some of these like they were
about
strong
the county,
Democratic, and then 4 Democratic, and then all of a sudden 29 Republican plus for this election. So they were positive 4 in 2020, and then all of a sudden this is Morris County. They are positive 29 with 79% reported already in that county.
Yeah,
it's crazy change. Crazy change.
I'm gonna run some math right now. Go ahead.
This little band in the middle here, so where I'm pointing out. So this right here is the biggest, most important thing right here. So we're looking at Virginia Beach City, which is one of the big ones. You're looking at like the cities themselves, James City County. These are big ones, and the big thing here is that You're looking at Democrat +3 to Republican plus 15. There's a 20-point swing here in Virginia. You're looking at a 16-point swing here, another 18-point swing. Like, this is got to be terrifying the Democrats right now. You've heard insider baseball. The Democratic Party is freaking the hell out. That MSNBC infographic, by the way, that showed that Republicans are dominating on every single issue: inflation, immigration, COVID-19 policies. They are dominating on every single issue right now. The Democratic Party's woke agenda is absolutely failing miserably. And a part of me is thinking House of Cards style, what if the establishment Democrats that don't like the far left see this 4-year period we're currently in as the perfect time to permanently excise the radical left Democratic Socialists from their party? Because, you know, and Nancy Pelosi's like, we'll give you the 2024 election if you let us get rid of these socialists from our party, and show them that it doesn't work. So because they're establishment, you know. Mitch McConnell's in the back room like, okay there, Nancy, if you'll give this one to us.
So this is what we got right now. So we have 91% in. So here's I'm going to do the math. So 91% in. That means, based on the amount of people voted, there is approximately 293,000 votes left outstanding.
That's what it means, is that 91% that 91% of precincts in the counties have reported their full stuff. Not every precinct, not every county has an equal amount of votes. That means that 91% of precincts have reported in. There is still an outstanding 9%. That could be as much as 20% of a state's votes or 5% of a state's votes. It just means that it's 9% of outstanding precincts right now. Because the important thing to notice is that places like the biggest population centers, such as Fairfax County, is 100% in. Prince William County is 96% in. Virginia Beach, the top 4 counties, the top 8 counties basically are all 95% plus turned in. So the population is no longer there really for McAuliffe to do anything, and he would have to win 100% of the remaining vote. The margin he needs is not just 8%. The margin he needs is that specific amount of votes. And if there's only 500,000 votes left, that means that he has to just absolutely curb stomp that.
So go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to ask him, will he add the filter on there to count the dead people voting? See,
yes. So the true here. Let's. I'm just kidding. This is the funny one, by the way, guys. Look at what you can sort by: population, 2020 presidential margin,
white,
percent white. I'm going to click this button. What do you think it's going to reveal? Oh yes, they wanted to make a point to show you that the more percentage white, the more likely it was to be Republican, therefore racist. You don't see the first Democrat county until you get down to here. And then you start to see it. But the more important one to look at is the one that counters what they're saying is median income. Because, look at that. The richest places are all Democrat. The richest white college-educated liberals, by the way, it's really funny that Loudoun County is the richest county in all of Virginia. But if the further you get down, the more likely a place is to be Republican. But towards the bottom here, it's like, 5-1. But it just goes to show they're trying. This is what we call, when you're looking at politics, when you're looking at media and everything like that, this is what is called framing. It's when they set it up intentionally to start driving, no matter what the information they're about to give you is, this is how they guide you towards a conclusion that they want.
Ain't no black one.
By the way, so I do need to show this as well. So guys, this is the important part up here, because you got to understand that this little section up here, what's right here? Washington, D.C. This is what's called the DMV area. This area voted, this section up here voted over 90% for Joe Biden in the 2020 election. And so when people talk about the deep state, those are the people that work in Washington, D.C. Those are the areas you live in if you don't want to live in a crime-ridden city, but you work in Washington, D.C. And it is very important to notice where their political leanings are, because these are the people that are actively working at your alphabet soup agencies, your CIA, DNI, your GEO, like all your intel. They're run by Democrats.
Aside from Fairfax County, however, the Loudoun is 55-44.
They were 64 last time.
Right, correct. And then Prince William County 53-47, so that's really close. Fairfax is still 64-35, but I think Fairfax was in the 70 or 80%.
Yeah, no. So Fairfax in 2020 went plus 39. So they went they were 39 up. So yeah, they went 68%, right? So or 69, something like that. That's massive.
All right,
These are massive.
So I mean, they're not going to call it, even though if I did the math my way, which is based on the overall numbers left in the state, which Tic Tac corrected, but even then it'd be 293,000 votes left outstanding, 293,000 votes for it to cover the 110,000 spread, which I know it doesn't necessarily matter that way. It would be 200. It would have to be 200,000 votes coming in to 93,000 approximately, which is let's see, it's over 2/3, so it'd be over 65% essentially.
So just to explain why it's not the case that you count it based off of, that's 91% of total votes in, because as with most elections, the biggest voting block is did not vote. So you actually don't know how many people within a given precinct are going to vote. So you don't know that until the votes actually come in. So say that the way you did your math was correct and there's 293,000 votes left. What that means is that based on the actual numbers, you'd only expect about 210,000 of those people to vote. And then he would also have to clear that gap in that scenario, just based on historical numbers. So it's the fact that they're not calling it shows to me that this is more or less the Democratic Party being absolutely shell-shocked right now, because Virginia is by far and away one of the most democratic states in America.
And do we have New Jersey? Do we have anything else right now that we can look at?
New Jersey's a lot less surprising, by the way.
Yeah, New Jersey is still there, 51-48 with 60% still, what I got.
I'm also looking at Colorado. So looking at local politics, we have a lot of school board elections up for grabs here in Colorado. So I'm waiting for those results. The polls only closed about an hour and a half ago. So it's, the results aren't really there yet. But, there's a lot of... And say you guys watching, make sure you're checking in also on your local city elections, because today was local election day. Check on your ballot measures that are going through and everything like that. Make sure you are tracking your local politics, because we're talking about Virginia's governor. The most important election that matters to you the most and matters to me the most is the local election you voted in today about the property ballot measures, the city council members, the school board members. Those are the ones that will actually impact your life, and those are the races that we should be talking about, but because we're a nationally focused program here, that's for stuff more like what I do at the Liberty Revolt, where we specifically target local Northern Colorado politics, right? This is the kind of stuff you guys should be focusing in on as well as your local.
Yes. Oh man, go ahead, Casey. Go.
No, I was just going to echo the same thing. I have a city council person I got to vote for, that I had to vote for, and I also have to vote for my city mayor today. And so those were all up for me today. Me and my wife, we had to go take care of that. But big key is keep paying attention to local elections, get engaged there, work your way up, and engage from that way. If we start from the top with the president, it just is not going to work. Like, that's not how you're going to make the change. Let's start at the lower levels, school boards and city councils.
So here's the deal. I realize why they haven't called it yet. We might be wrong, guys. Today, from Glasgow, President Biden 6 hours ago gave an answer on what's going to happen in Virginia, and he said
we're going to win.
So you know what? That's probably. I mean, that says enough to me. It's probably going to flip. Yeah. Just kidding.
I was about to call you all the way out.
But maybe he knows something we don't.
We'll check back in at 4:23 in the morning and see how that looks.
But I don't want to hear anybody being like, there was election fraud. They cheated. I don't want to hear anybody doing that.
They've already counted. They've already counted most of the absentees.
Yeah. Well, and there's also
today's votes. The votes that have come in the last 3 or 4 days have not been counted just yet. That's all that's left. The mail-in votes from the last 3 or 4 days. So, and
even then, that's not going to give them enough.
There's no way.
Especially since the trend the last 3 to 4 days has been absolutely against the Democrats in Virginia.
He did. He also gave a big speech at the conference in Scotland. He gave a big. He just said it through an earpiece through a white dude that's dementia ridden. All right, so let's see. That's it on the show. Spending bill, we were going to talk about it, but it still hasn't gotten any movement. Manchin is still blocking it, wanting to take away the 1.9, make it 1.95, make it 1.75. We don't know where that spending bill is going to go. And then let's see. The Kyle case, I saw some people mentioning it. It's looking very interesting, and it's looking as though the judge is very pro Kyle. That's all we can talk about it. Otherwise, it's deemed hate speech. So yeah. So I mean, they're voting for this, Nikki. There's really no chance to, in my opinion. I didn't foresee that having a chance.
People are claiming it's already decided. They're saying it was already voted out. That no.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all I got. As a reminder, we'll go around to everybody in this group. Check out the merch at awakenotwokeshop.com. Awakenotwokeshop.com.
Store, not shop.
Sugar Shane Mosley store. Awakenotwokestore.com. Wake up for 20% off. Putting it in the comment box. 20% off. Okay, so I'm putting this up on the screen right now, and again, we've got shirts like Unveed Lives Matter, which is my. What were you wearing, Tic Tac, when you got all the attention?
I was wearing my Unveed Lives Matter sweatshirt, and it was wonderful. So many. I went with about 50 cards, and by the end I was having to tell people just tell people where to go because. So many people loved it. And like I said, I was doing the capitalism thing. I'm here to do my grassroots movement and sell you my shit because you should support the grassroots movements, right? And so Bucky was out there with me doing Liberty. We were doing Liberty Revolt. We were doing the radio stuff. We were doing everything we could to just keep the momentum going. And it was wonderful to see. And they loved the hat and they loved the shirt.
Suni, the colored Unveed sign shirt is, but we've sold like 6 or 7 of them, I think. So they're selling a little bit. You said they would. You're right. All right, so that's what we got. Make sure you guys check out the store, and let's go ahead and have Kevin. Kevin, you go first. We'll go Kevin, Casey, Suni.
Yeah, so once again, local politics are incredibly important. The Liberty Revolt is where me and Bucky sit over there, and we have focused in on local Colorado politics. Be sure you're going out there, not just supporting what we do, because we do talk about everything. We talk about philosophy, but we also do our best to encourage you to go out, find contributors like us who are focusing on the local side of things, because at the end of the day, these elections are more important than the midterms coming up next year, because these are the ones that are actually going to impact your life. Make sure you are sticking with your local stuff going on, and just make sure that we're doing everything we can to get involved in the cultural side of things and start bringing back our morals, our values, everything that we need to go on. Because as Yuri Bezmenov said, step 1, you take over the education system. And once you've done that for a generation, you start demoralizing your people, which means removing their morals, not making them feel sad. So that is the phase that we are in right now. And the best way to push back is to just stop, realize you are not alone in this fight. We are with you. You have more people around you that agree with what you think than you know. And that has been their whole point is make you feel alone, because they know that you're not. And they just want you, they are just hoping to God you don't realize it too.
Well said. Fun fact, just got an appeal from Facebook, and they had thank you for the appeal. And after taking a look, we've decided to temporarily suspend monetization features for your page because it goes against our content policies.
So it got worse.
I guess. I don't know how. I have no idea. I think that's a 90-day monetization ban.
Oh my gosh, it got worse.
Sharing a fucking quote. So anyways, so that might mean in the next couple weeks we'll be moving a lot of our stuff over to our private platform to start at least getting $1.99 per month out of people to help out, because wow, we've done some stuff that's questionable, but to share a quote from the FDA's head, that's next level. That's crazy. Whatever, FDA's got. Anyways, Casey, go ahead.
Facebook sucks. Stop worrying about Facebook or Meta.
Whatever
you want to call it.
What's fucked up is that's literally the first thing we have ever done, quote unquote, wrong on Facebook. Anyways, go ahead, Casey.
Well, and the thing that sucks is as soon as you get one ding, they're monitoring your crap like no other, and so they're on you like white on rice. And like I got in trouble because I shared a picture of a guy with his last name on his jersey. Like that's how ridiculous this is. But overall, more important, guys, it's not Facebook, it's the elections. Today is a big day across the country. There's a lot of elections, a lot of decisions that need to be made. It's setting the stage and getting things done in the right, set the precursor for next year. And so this is showing if we can all unite and come together and make a movement, 2022 is going to be so much easier. We can flip the House, we can flip the Senate even if we wanted to, and then we take all control away from the president. It's all under our control. And so just think about those things and pay attention. And now you're going to start seeing all of the big elections for all the senators and congressmen. They're going to start announcing they're running in 2022 if they haven't already. So you're going to start seeing a lot of that come up now that we're a year out from those elections.
Love it. Well said. Suni, what do you got?
Appeal the 19th, man.
And the 16th.
No. Don't try to smooth it over because you want to remain cool with the ladies, all right?
No, I said and 1619 project. That's the income tax.
I know that, but we're talking about the 19th right now. Why are you trying to take over my slogan, bro? What is happening?
You didn't
We're
call
talking about repealing the 19th.
Don't worry, we just switched the frame.
No. Hey, look, I'm gonna see what these people do when they get in office before I shout hip hip hooray. I am a skeptic based on what we're seeing right now in this country. I just don't have faith in Republicans. People are going to be like, here, Debbie Downer. I think I'm a realist, man. You know, if it gets flipped, cool. But what are you going to do when it's flipped? Are you going to help the American people? Or is it going to be more of what we saw for the last 6 months? Because if you're going to get in there and not do nothing, I wasted my vote. So I personally will be watching hard. Because we should watch our own team much harder than we watch the opposing. The opposing is always going to be against us, but the people that are on our side, I'm on your ass like white on rice. Make America think again.
Love it. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your week. I've got that. Don't forget, we got that show tomorrow. Bum-ba-da-bum. Where is it? Let's see. Sorry, I've been looking up appeal stuff. Don't forget, we got Brenda on tomorrow night. We're going to talk about the event, the Come Change Your Life event, which is comechangeyourlife.com this weekend that I am hosting, emceeing, etc., and helping put on for her. Going to be a great event. A lot of big speakers at that virtual event. You can get tickets at comechangeyourlife.com. And again, this one is in person. If you want to meet this crew, come out to Irving besides Suni. Maybe we'll patch Suni in on a live. I don't know. We've got me speaking again. Don't know why I'm at the top of that page, but big names: Brad Lee, Ryan Weaver, Officer Parker, Jason Redman. A huge list of people. Ian Smith, most likely. He is verbally confirmed this week. Big names. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. Go to greatamericansummit.com. Aside from that, have a great rest of your week, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow night for Changemakers in the event this weekend. God bless. Take it easy. Wherever that comment box, where is the goodbye? What did you guys do to my little comment box? There it is. That was all Kevin's fault.
You sound like my dad.
What did you say, Sam?
When are they going to have an all-black event?
Hey, Turning Point used to do that. It was a Black Leadership Summit, and that ended once Joe Biden got in office.
Don't they have that on BET?
That was so disrespectful. I don't even watch BET.